Hello, everyone, and welcome to Reality Hour. I am Adam Samuel. Today, we are starting our coverage of Season 18 of American Idol. Feels like a bit of a homecoming for us, but joining me for this podcast is my co-host, Eric. How you doing today, Eric?
I am doing great. I'm super excited. Idol is back. We're finally done with Simon for now.
Oh, well, thank
almost.
God.
Almost. I mean, we have one more episode of AGT to cover later, but anyway.
Eric, I knew it was American Idol season the morning after the episode, and I went on Facebook, and I saw throngs of comments on the American Idol page saying how they are done with the show. They stopped watching when Simon left. Every season, it's like the same people just come out, and everyone is always just quitting for the day of, right?
The time to have reasonably considered quitting was long ago if you're going to quit.
If you're here, you've either just started or you're in for the long run.
Yep.
I feel like that's kind of where it is. So, Eric, we made it. It is season 18. The time has flown by. I started watching this show, my God, 9 years ago. Well, give or take one or two because there was that break in between. But yeah, I mean, we got the same judges.
Bleh.
Bleh. They could be worse. We've watched a lot of shows, Eric. These are far from the worst. They're bad, but they're far from the worst. I
disagree with that, actually.
All right, why?
I think these are the worst, but we'll get there.
All right. Well, for me, I watched the premiere. I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was amazing. I thought it was good. I mean, I did my fair share of snarky tweets. I mean, who doesn't? But I enjoyed it. I had fun. Did you enjoy the premiere, Eric?
More than I did last year's.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember last year's premiere. Like,
bad.
For me, I mostly remember a season for like one contestant having a few big moments, the winner, and maybe a couple other things. Like, I don't remember specific episodes. I either have mostly it just comes down to do I have good thoughts or bad thoughts.
I remember up until episode 3 of last season, there was not a single contestant I was at all invested in.
We start all Reality Hour episodes with some headlines. So, Eric, got any big ones for this one?
Well, there are two really. The first one actually is, in case you haven't noticed by the graphics in the intro, we rebranded since last season of Idol, and I know a lot of people only watch us for Idol. I don't blame you if you don't watch America's Got Talent and all those other shows, because I think how the quality of them has kind of suffered lately. But anyway, we rebranded to Reality Hour. We have titles, graphics. We've taped the episode and edited it. I edit it. And yeah, so that's the first headline. Second headline is ratings. Number 1, but slightly down from last season.
Yeah, I mean...
Exactly.
The number of people who still like watch network television is shrinking. It's only going to continue to shrink. I feel like we're like children in a divorce. Like, we're slowly being pulled towards like the streaming services and away from like network television. It's a slow transition, but it's gonna happen, Eric.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, time for a deep dive.
I just want to say, like, it's good to have American, like, the other shows I can't get invested in. They don't grip me like American Idol does. I don't know what it is, but The Voice, America's Got Talent, even the X Factor, it doesn't have that spark, like that true thing that kind of drives me in.
Well, until last year, X Factor had that spark for me, but...
You know why? It's because American Idol, at least I feel, maybe this is just me having drank the Kool-Aid, I feel like there is some investment in the contestants. They actually do kind of care, except for this is kind of going to bring me to my first point I want to make of this episode. Going into the season, not a lot of love for Lane Hardy from the producers, Eric. I saw a YouTube clip. It's like pimping the new season, and it says, "Who will be the next Alejandro?"
That's not just a YouTube clip. That's how they opened the episode.
I found that hysterical. Like,
that was the first 5 minutes of American Idol 2020. Was literally just them saying American Idol 2019 got the wrong result.
Lane Hardy was like, he was inoffensive. He was fine. Like nothing. It was just kind of there. Like they are totally. It reminds me of that GIF I shared on Twitter of Eric Cartman being thrown under the bus. Like, they are so done with Lane. They want nothing to do with him. But what are you gonna do?
Andrew's having some success, so good for him. I'll say that.
All right. Well, I guess it is time for our deep dive. So we had. I just want to say, it felt. Is it just me? Or Eric, did we have less contestants showcased than usual?
I don't know. I don't keep track. I don't remember.
All right. Well, let's kind of get into this. So our first auditioner of the night, who doesn't actually sing first, he's just our first auditioner, and then he gets kind of shafted to go do shtick. It's Doug Kicker? I don't know. How do you pronounce this name?
Don't worry about it. He won't be here much longer.
All right. Well, Doug is a garbage man, and the producers really put him through the ropes. They're gonna milk this story as much as they can. Am I right?
Seems like it.
Yeah. So he comes in. He has some shtick. They send him off to do some weird segment performing for people on the streets, and then we get to our actual first contestant, which was Cameron Lee, I don't know. I'm sorry. Smith. She is a young singer. Eric, what was your first impression of this singer?
I'm sad that they kind of threw her, just sort of didn't like touch on her and focus more on Doug, because I like her quite a bit. She's got a good range.
Yeah, I thought she was solid. She performs Big White Room by Jessie J, and this song, it kind of all leads to this one note. Like, we've heard it sung a couple of times on these shows. Serena Joy Crow is one example that I can think of. And it kind of, it builds to that big magical note. And she's good. I mean, she's 16 years old. I don't know how big of a chance she has of making it in the season.
She doesn't have a big chance.
I mean, she's...
The fact that they didn't focus on her and focused on the guy who can't sing but has a good story is all you need to know.
Yeah, she was kind of used as like a shaft piece, like between like they're really just putting a placeholder because they need something to happen in between like Doug. They can't have Doug and then Doug again. They need like a buffer space. So she was kind of pushed there, but I mean, she was good. She's very into the church, but she wants to sing secular music. I would have given this a B, middle of the road B.
Oh, we're doing grades again. I forgot about that. Yeah, I'd say B minus.
Yeah, she's inoffensive.
I'm gonna be a little bit more tough for my grades this year.
All right, fair enough. I wrote that she's perfectly okay.
Yeah, she's fine. B minus.
So we return to Doug, and Doug comes back in and starts to sing "Bless the Broken Road" by Rascal Flatts. And this contestant, he was kind of a big moment for the show. A lot of people were kind of talking about him, and a lot of people were very favorable. Really? I came down on a bit of a different point of view for this contestant.
People were favorable towards this?
I was seeing some love for him. Some people were pretty...
Okay.
I wrote down, he seems like a nice enough dude, but this is not a competition for him. He is going to get swallowed up. His inexperience... Some people are inexperienced and they just... You wouldn't even know it. You know it with Doug. Like, this is just he's just a guy. Like, that's nothing bad. It's just, he's not built for a competition like this, Eric.
Yeah, pretty much. I will say, the thing is, the first audition of season 16 was Katie Turner, who went on to be my favorite contestant of the season. And it's kind of a wasted placement to put someone who's not going to make it past Hollywood in the same spot.
I don't know. I mean, usually when I think of like the first auditioners of the season, they're usually someone who made it pretty far. Like we had Clark Beckham was another first auditioner.
This guy's not making it that far.
I remember season 11 was not. He made it like to top 40, but usually they make it like pretty far. But yeah, both Doug and Cameron, I mean, I would rate Doug, he's for me like a C-, and Cameron's like a
Somewhere in
B.
the same range for me.
Yeah, and I think if it comes down to them, that it's just not. He's not going to be able to compete. It's just going to come down to that. It's a cute moment for an audition, which I think is a big point for these audition episodes. Like sometimes they just want an audition moment. Like they want the cute moment with the judges and the shtick, and that's just kind of what was going on here.
Yep. Let's move on.
All right. Well, after that we have, in my opinion, one of the standouts of the night. There were quite a few standouts of the night. Francisco Martin performing Alaska by Maggie Rogers. He is a singer-songwriter, and I found it funny that he also says he's pre-law. And this is one of my favorites, honestly. I thought he was really good. What about you, Eric?
Really? I mean, I didn't hate it, but I thought parts of the first song sounded particularly kind of pitchy to me, kind of a little bit off, and kind of like hurt my ears a little bit. Yeah.
For me, I wrote that he reminds me a little bit of Sam Wolf. Do you remember who that is?
I remember exactly who that is, and I'm not sure if that's a favorable comparison, but okay.
I mean, Sam Wolf made top 5.
In season 13.
Be Nice. That was one of my favorites. No, that was a really good season. What?
That was one of your favorites?
Well, it was one of my favorites because of one contestant.
Okay, fine. You like it.
Gina Irene carried that season on her shoulders. It was all on her.
Okay.
But Francisco, I wouldn't put him as an amazing singer. He's B plus range for me. Like he's above Cameron. Not, you don't agree?
Not really.
All right. Well, I do feel that for a part of this, there were some nerves that did kind of become a bit of a factor. But overall, I mean, he so far 3 auditioners in, he's my number 1.
Nope, not for me. But next.
Really, Cameron beats him?
Yeah, barely. I mean, neither of them were particularly anything to me. But
all right. Well, after that, we have it would not be, in my opinion, Eric, an American Idol season does not begin until we've had one joke auditioner. Once we have our what?
Or 2 in this episode.
Or 2 in this episode, but it took for Hunter Gibson's performance for me to really like know that American Idol is back. So he's an emo dude, and he is performing Swing Swing by the All American Rejects, which is a band that I have not heard since middle school. I used to love these guys. They were awesome. And he's very much in that pop punk vein. Pop punk vein. He calls himself the Comeback.
Pop punk pitchy.
Triple P's. Is that what we're going for?
Well, whatever. Pop punk pitchy. That's what it was.
This dude is hyped up. He is ready to go. He's all energetic, and you know exactly what this is, Eric.
Yeah, no. I don't know. No comments. Let's move on. I'm only talking about Joke X.
Would he get, in your opinion, an F or an F minus minus? Because we have not given an F minus minus in a while.
Well, he's not F minus minus bad.
He's just F.
He's not even F. I mean.
Wow.
He's
wait. Let's work this through. He's what?
D minus.
He's a D minus. What about just this, like, bump it up 1? I enjoyed it. I thought, you know what? First of all, here's how I think joke acts should be handled. 1, they have to be in on the joke.
I'm going to interrupt you right here and say joke act should be handled, and that they should never make it past the preliminaries.
I mean, if they're in on the joke and then
there shouldn't be joke acts. There shouldn't be joke acts.
I would agree, but it's also
2020. There should no longer be joke auditions.
But it is kind of like an Idol staple, Eric.
Who cares? Some things are wrong. That's wrong.
All right. Well, so first off, going into at this point,
speaking of things that are wrong.
What? Wait, what? What was that transition?
I don't know. This next guy, they just gave him such a dick edit.
Well, it is Nick Americo, who I vaguely remembered until
I totally forgot who this guy was.
I remembered him like vaguely because he was a former Disney star or Nickelodeon. He was like one of those kids who was on a show and then they grew up and stopped being on the show, and that was kind of the vibe I got from Nick. So he was on last season, but he got the golden ticket, but he did not go to Hollywood. Do you have any more information about what kind of happened here?
Not really. Sorry. Sorry if you're looking for me for information on this one. All I want to talk about is that, my God, they made him look like such an ass.
They made him look like a jerk.
Of course. And the thing is, even if he can overcome it, which I don't think he can, he's not amazing. And the Lionel thing pissed me off because if Lionel actually said something like that to some of these contestants, we'd be better off.
Well, let's kind of set the stage a little bit more. So he's performing "You Say" by Lauren Daigle at the piano. I am not nearly as low as Eric is. I thought this was pretty great. I mean, I enjoyed it.
It's a C+ for me.
I don't think it's C+. For me, I was excited. I was like
really?
A little bit excited. I'll be honest, he was actually my favorite so far at this point of the night. I mean,
not even close, but continue.
I would have given it a B+, kind of just etching out Francisco.
At best, B-.
No, I disagree. I thought he was really good. I think he's got potential. I do like. There is some weirdness going on with the whole dropping out of the competition. I don't know what was going on, but yeah, the kind of big takeaway that a lot of people are going to have is this shtick that kind of goes on with Lionel. They even cut away to commercial, and right there, they're really gonna milk this moment. And what did you think? What did you think about this?
I was annoyed because if Lionel actually said that to contestants, as I said, thing is, Lionel doesn't ever say anything negative. So if he didn't know at that moment that he was being set up, he's lying or he's an idiot. Either one.
This was a setup.
This was so staged. This whole thing was fake.
I did kind of find it weird. Like the judges were like almost guilting him for dropping out. But what if there was an actual like real reason? Like we don't know the reason. Like who knows? It could have been something silly. Maybe he just got nervous.
I think MJ said something that was like he had a record deal and then that didn't work out or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but let's play like devil's advocate and say there was a real personal issue. Doesn't that make it kind of like, well, the judges don't know that. The judges do. The judges said that.
The judges go into this blind? Do you really do?
I found it so funny. He walks in and they say like, "Oh, we remember you." They met him for like 5 minutes a year ago.
Which is evidence that if they don't go into a blind, they get a briefing paper with everything about that contestant before that contestant starts singing. They get prompts on what to ask the contestant about. It's obvious.
All right. Well, I don't know. Anyway, I still thought Nick was really good. One of my favorites of the night, to be honest, Eric.
Okay.
Do you think he can win?
Not a chance in hell.
Not a chance. Wow. I did also at this point want to give a bit of a shout out because we watch these shows and there's always. Well, first of all, this is another thing I wanted to kind of ask about. Eric, in the old days, I feel like an old person saying that. In the old days, when people would come into audition for American Idol, there would be it would just be a cappella, and in this day and age, they've really shifted into embracing the guitars and the piano. Are you all right with this?
Yes.
You are all right with this?
Yes.
For me, I don't actually know, to be honest.
The reason I'm all right with it is because if it's an audition, we might as well see what the person is actually going to be like. And if they're going to play guitar every performance, we might as well know that now.
True.
I mean, Alejandro's audition would have been a complete bomb if he wasn't playing guitar and piano, because he can't sing.
All right. Well,
am I wrong?
You kind of won that argument, is all I can really say.
Yes, I did.
But anyway, for those people who can't play instruments, I want to give a shout out to the piano players because they're the MVP of this episode, in my opinion. They killed it.
Great. Let's move on to probably my favorite audition of the episode.
All right, well, let's talk about Arthur Gunn, whose real name is... I'm going to absolutely embarrass myself saying this name.
So don't say it.
How do I say it?
I don't know.
I think Dibesh something, but he goes by Arthur Gunn, and he is our first... I don't know if he's really a sob story, would you say?
I didn't watch the story, I just watched for talent. And yeah, he's
All
probably
right.
my favorite of the episode.
He is a Philip Phillips clone.
Yep.
Very much so. I mean, he's going to go out and kind of follow the same path that Philip did. He literally, his tone, everything about him is kind of ripped right out of that kind of story.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't really care, but we've had so many Philip Phillips clones on the show in the recent years that I don't really care about that anymore. I will say, good guitar playing, strong voice. He has a lot of power behind it. I liked it a lot.
All right. So he performs 2 songs, one of which, what was the other one? Have You Ever Seen the Rain?
Which actually Philip did perform on Idol.
Did he?
I think.
I think so too. Yeah, he performed it also at the finale.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that part. I thought he was very good. Yeah. He is... If Nick and Francisco are kind of B pluses, Arthur is kind of a A minus. Like he's not quite an A for me yet, because I don't usually like...
I would agree. He's not an A. He's not an A yet. He's an A minus Phil for me.
I don't usually like giving out A's unless the contestant is like going to be my favorite for the season.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like Arthur is kind of as good as you can get otherwise. Can he win?
No.
Why can't he win, Eric?
Not from America. America's racist.
We're going to talk about another contestant next. No, not yet. Who I might disagree with you on that. I don't know if you would necessarily need to be American to win.
You really? Okay, we'll get there.
All right. Well, let's move on to Alyssa Ermolaev. I think that was it. And this is another joke audition. She actually appeared in the Hustlers movie by Jennifer Lopez. Did you get a chance to see this movie, Eric?
I saw enough of Jennifer Lopez acting like a stripper on the Super Bowl. I'm good.
Well, in Hustlers, Alyssa played stripper number 2, and she kind of recites some of her lines. No, that's what she says. That's legitimately. Okay. And she performs an original song. They go full out with the story. She is very much a character over a singer, and she performs, and it is very much a joke contestant. But I don't think she was awful.
Really?
I thought there was
screeching involved.
All right, it was bad, but like
this one I would give an F to.
What?
This one was worse than the other one.
I don't think so. I thought like if you take a scalpel, like.
Well, here's the thing: we're splitting hairs at this point. Both of them were really bad.
You know, like when you make like a clay face, and like there's a face, but there's also it's like messed up, and you can like morph it back into kind of a normal face. I thought she like with training, she could have been.
Oh God.
Okay.
Okay, this is what we come to, America. Anyway.
I'm trying here, Eric.
Okay, let's move on.
Let's move on to who I believe is another standout of the night. It is Louis or Lewis?
Who cares? Lewis Knight.
Lewis Knight. I think it's whichever one it is, we're gonna say the opposite, like accidentally. Mr. Knight is performing an original song, and he is our big time sob story. Kind of, he dedicates his original song to a friend who committed suicide, He was born in England, and he moved to Philadelphia. And what did you think, Eric?
Good, nice voice, good song. I like him. But we have to talk about the judges' comments. Because it was excruciating. They're so over the top. They're like, oh my god, you're the best person we've had in 3 years. And then Katie's like, no, but I'm only saying that no because I want to keep him humble. I'm like, he's not that good. He's good. He's fine. He's not terrible. But I am not excited about him yet.
Hashtag Hyperbole's got talent.
I mean, these judges are like, this is why these judges are the worst of any of the panels. Because on America's Got Talent, they might be mean to people for stupid reasons, but at least they're mean to people occasionally.
What?
On America's Got Talent, they're not nice to every single contestant.
Yeah, but when they go too far, they go really too far.
But you know what? I prefer the fact that they're at least not going to blow smoke up everybody's butt, which is what these idol judges do.
Eric, what you're asking for is another Howie. And I don't know if I can go back.
I'm not asking for a Howie. What I'm asking for is honesty, which is he might be good in the future. He might end up being one of the better contestants we've had. But to tell him after he sings for 30 seconds that he's the best contestant they've had in 3 years is laughable. And
so does that mean he's better than Alejandro?
Well, he is, but that's a low bar for me, at least.
All right, well, let's just move on.
I mean, it's like these judges are just terrible because no one's going to live up to the hype that they're setting. I mean, they're just not.
We have Severia up next. She is 22, and she was on a show called The Launch. Were you familiar with this?
I heard about it. It was a Scott Borchetta show, so, he sucks. But anyway, my question is, they cut this girl and let the garbage guy through?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I came away from it. I was like, really? Like, I thought she wasn't great. She was all right, I thought.
She wasn't off key, and she could sing well. She wasn't spectacular, but if we're letting the garbage guy through, we should let her through too.
She hit the minimum bar of kind of what you need to do, in my opinion. Like if she had made it through, she would have been like a B-. But, like, that's not a C. Like, it's not awful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's not really that much else to say about her. Maybe we'll see her in another season. But let's move on to, well, first we got to talk about this little bit of elephant in the room. We get a segment with... What?
Oh, you mean the fact that she has a podcast too? Is that the elephant in the room?
I was going to go for something else.
Okay.
I was going to talk about Bobby Bones. Exactly. Exactly. Why are they trying to... Why is he... This was Ryan's job. Like, it almost gives me, like, the nerves that they're priming Bobby Bones.
I think they are.
Which, honestly, is the darkest of darkest timelines. Like, there are dark timelines, and then there's a dark timeline where Bobby Bones is the new host of American Idol.
Okay.
No thoughts on that?
Well, I don't really have many thoughts on Ryan either, so.
Eric and I are in total disagreement of this. I think Ryan Seacrest is the backbone of the season. He is the spine.
Well, yes, because the judges are so terrible.
Eric, I have watched American Idol, The Voice, The X Factor.
Dermot's the best.
All these shows. The one constant since the day I began it.
I'm not saying that he's not a constant. I'm saying he's not the best host. He's probably the best host they can get, but he's not the best host.
Since we disagree on this, let's just move on to Megan.
Okay, fine.
Megan Fitton. She is 23 years old, performing "Love Where You're At" by Alan Stone. This is the part where we can talk about. She's a big Bachelor fan, which is funny because it's exactly on ABC, and she's got a podcast. Have we found out what the podcast is, Eric?
We have not.
We need to find her. We need to find Megan. What's in
I
it?
don't know. I mean, I have a podcast. That's a thing. Anyway, I don't even know what I'm
Adam
talking
had
about.
a TV podcast.
Whatever. Anyway,
Now it's reality.
I like her. But I don't like her as much as Luke does. Luke is getting on my nerves. He likes everybody way too much. He likes actually just said he likes everybody because he does. My favorite thing ever in the history of Idol recaps was, besides Melinda, do a little Michael Cusack, but that's kind of a different league. But Paul F. Tompkins recapped American Idol season 10. He's one of my favorite comedians, and every single comment he wrote, he did recaps of all the judges' comments. Every single time he wrote anything, it was Steven likes it, and then he talked about what Ricky and J-Lo said, and it was perfect. It became a thing because Luke likes it. That's what we're gonna do. Luke liked it. That's all you need to know. He likes everything. It's a miracle. It's only notable if he doesn't like something.
You are going full blazes on this season, Eric, aren't you?
I don't hate it. I mean, there are a couple acts that I actually liked a little bit. But the thing is, these judges are getting on my nerves.
Well, let's kind of talk a little bit about our last contestant because...
Wait, we weren't done with this one yet.
Oh, we're not done?
I was saying I was about to say the editing for her audition was gimmicky and fake, but at least a little bit clever with the cutaways to the contestant confessionals and stuff. I kind of found that a little bit funny.
They do that every year. There's there's a couple little cleverness that breaks from tradition.
I appreciated the producers on that one a little bit, but who cares if it was fake? It was fake. Anyway.
I enjoyed it. I mean, she was good. She wasn't amazing.
She had a good voice. She wasn't
I thought she was solid. I mean, she was pretty good.
She was better than she needed to be.
Yeah, she was like
she didn't need to be this good to make it on the show, but she was good. Somehow.
I enjoyed her. I mean, I thought she was kind of pleasant enough. It's funny, at this point, we're only on episode 1, Eric, I will say, but the season is very heavily leaning towards the men so far. I'm kind of hoping for some strong women vocalists, is all I'm saying.
Well, let's talk about our next contestant.
All right, and we will talk about our last contestant because the show spent 10 minutes on her?
I think.
They went all out. So she is just Sam. Her real name is Samantha Diaz. 20 years old. She is a busker. And she is performing Rise Up. So, yeah, they go all out. She is story. And what'd you make of this one, Eric?
I don't talk about the stories. Honestly, I watch a little bit of the story, but I didn't watch all of it because I just don't like without stories. She's likable, and she's got a really nice voice. That's it. That's it.
What did you make of, because she starts performing, and midway through the performance, she just starts breaking down and crying.
I'm not going to judge her too harshly for that.
I don't think you can, because...
You can't. But
you have to put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah, you can't judge her harshly for that.
It's a long day. You've been sitting in a room. Not only has it been a long day, it's been a process that started months ago, all leading up to that one moment. But I do kind of feel like I have to hold her to the same standard of Doug at the beginning of the episode, where, is she ready?
Well, the second performance, she proved that she was ready.
Yeah, the second performance is much better.
Doug didn't give a performance where he proved he was ready. She did.
All right. Well, maybe that's not fair because Doug only got one song.
We'll see how he does next round.
All right. Well, the show is making it out that Sam is definitely one to watch. But yeah, that was kind of our premiere. So I guess we should kind of move on to some superlatives, Eric.
Yep. This week we're gonna switch this up a little bit. We're gonna do first place and runner-up for best of the week.
All right.
So
you first.
We're gonna do our top two each.
Okay. You first.
I'm dishing the negative superlatives because I don't want to be negative.
This is American Idol. There's no better place to be negative.
Well, I can just say the worst of the week each week is the judges. Plain and simple.
Fair enough. All right. Who are your two favorites?
Arthur and Jeff Sam.
I agree on Arthur. Just Sam, not for me. I'm gonna go Nick. Yeah, I'm gonna go Nick. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Nick and Arthur for me are the two standouts.
Time for preview. Let's talk about what's the next to this podcast.
Well, the next thing we got to talk about is you might be watching this episode on a Tuesday, but it is actually, while we are filming this, it is an hour and 5 minutes away from the finale of America's Got Talent, the Champions. And I feel like it's important to have that one break for us because we're going from American Idol back to like tragedy and then back to goodness.
Well, I can say this now because this isn't being posted until tomorrow. No, if Past Me is wrong and The Unbeatable did not win, who the hell did? My question.
All around me are familiar faces worn out. I was singing Mad World.
I know the song.
No, I'm sorry. That's the wrong song to sing. It's Hello Darkness, my old friend. Yeah. Like that's Eric's face. Like Eric is like all full of hope watching The Unbeatable win, and then it says the winner is Tyler.
It wouldn't be Tyler.
And then it zooms in. Hello.
But then again, who would it be?
Maybe just Howie Mandel's gonna win the season.
No, if Hans wins this season, I will eat my computer.
All right. Well, I want to say that I'm Adam Samuel. You can find me on Twitter at AdamSoapbox. Where can we find you, Eric?
Eric Ascher on Twitter, bit.ly/EricLoveVids, and Eric ericascher.com.
I'm excited for this season, Eric. I hope this is a good one. I mean, we had Maddie in the first season. We had Lane, which was but I feel like it's a sandwich. Like we got the good, we got like the bad, and now we're gonna get another good, and it's gonna cancel it out.
Or we're gonna get the ugly.
Don't be that way, Eric. It's just the premiere. You're gonna throw a dagger at it.
I did like this better than last year's premiere.
All right. Well, I am looking forward to covering it with Eric here on the podcast. We hope you will stick around. Hopefully we'll have some guests at some point throughout the season. We'll see. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching. This was a fun episode. And until next time, whenever that might be, peace.